lined up the top stars from Hollywood and from all over the world to entertain you on a giant screen with the few colorful motion pictures you've been hearing about and reading
It's
about.
showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
We're delighted to have you with us. They're driving theater.
You'll find something to please you to add to your evening's enjoyment.
Is pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of San Dimas. I am your host, Bo, the boom operator.
And I am Jake, the grip.
S. Preston, Esquire, together.
St. Dimas High School football rules.
Yeah, you're supposed to say, and together we're the drive-in
man,
Speakerbox.
I was too
screwed it.
amped.
We didn't practice.
No, we didn't practice.
We didn't even.
But
Yeah. Oh,
are you telling me San Dimas High School football does not rule?
I mean, San Dimas High School football rules.
Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. All right, yeah, this is the Drive-In Speakerbox. What's up, dudes? We're here. It's another day.
Went into the Wayne's World. All right.
All
yeah,
right.
All right.
Do we got camera 2? Can we do camera 1? Camera 2? Camera 1? Camera...
2-1?
I mean, we're going to do the Wayne's World joke.
We do
camera
too many
2?
Wayne's.
Oh, God, that one looks like shit. Camera 2 is offline. Anyway, we're here. We're going to be talking about movies. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us. Find us on the Facebooks, the Twitches, and the YouTubers. If you want to check that live stream out and get participating in this chat right over yonder with all of our friends that are already tuned in. Shout-outs to McLean and Johnny Dalton and Vince and everybody already tuned in on the live streams. But if you're listening to the audio version of this on your favorite podcast aggregator, we thank you for tuning in as well. And smash that subscribe button and tell your friends because...
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Spread the lerb. Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about Bill and Ted Face the Music, a.k.a. Bill and Ted 3. We both got a chance to see it. Jake here went and saw it in the theater.
I did. I went to the theater, our lone Bill and Ted showing theater here in the area.
Siloam Springs. He had to drive 30 miles to go see it, and I was unable to make the commute, but I watched the home version.
Mm-hmm.
I purchased it on my favorite purchase online portal of choice for $25 and watched it.
I almost did that on Xbox with Microsoft because right now you can actually buy Bill and Ted 1, 2, 3, and a few episodes of the cartoon all together for $35.
That's a bargain.
Well, because if you buy 3 by itself, it's $24.99. But if you get, you can rent it for $19.99 or buy it for $24.99, and then you can get the 2 that preceded it and a few episodes of the cartoon for $35. So I almost did. I was very tempted, but
It's a most non-heinous deal.
yeah. But I had the most excellent time watching a Bill and Ted movie in the theater with my dad, who is the one that, of course, brought Wild Stallions to
in your
me.
life.
Yeah, so that was a good time. So
That's awesome. Well, we're going to be talking about that later in the show. But before we start talking about most excellent adventures through time and space, we need to take a moment and have a somber moment. Because there was some really sad news this week. As if 2020 has not been full of sad news left and right. But we, Hollywood, the entertainment community, lost, a pretty... I'm not going to use the word up-and-comer, but let's...
No, but he was. But he really was.
He really was. He was a rising star. He was an up-and-comer in all seriousness because he really got his big break in 2013. He was and we're talking, of course, of Chadwick Boseman passing at age 43 of colon cancer. Kind of a hidden battle that he was fighting in secret because you know what? Sometimes that stuff is not public business, and it was like, how come we didn't know? And it's like, well, because it's probably none of your business. I think this idea that we are entitled to know every tiny bit of minutia about celebrities is a little bit stupid. And
what's the one thing that would have made that harder? Having constant tabloids in his face.
Exactly. Privacy. When you're in the public eye a lot, your privacy is very important, and it's something that people that don't live in the private eye will never understand, or the public eye will never understand. It's something that it's just one of those things you have to experience, and it's tough on a lot of people. But anyway, he was definitely a rising star coming up. Getting a humongous break with getting casted for the role of Black Panther in the first Captain America: Civil War movie, which was back in 2016.
Yeah, but before that.
He got to play Jackie Robinson.
Yeah, he was in 42.
That was his first, I think, big feature-length film where he played Jackie Robinson in that film. And then followed by, what was that terrible, terrible movie with the guy from Game of Thrones, like Howland Landau or whatever his name is. I know there's a Landau in it. It was Gods of Egypt. That's what it was.
Oh, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau?
Yes. Where's
we watched that movie in the theater.
We did. Where's Waldau?
I don't remember Chadwick Boseman being in it.
Yeah, he was the knowledge guy. Remember that they had to go quest for him, and he was the one that multiplied himself into a whole bunch of. I remember the scene clearly.
I remember what's his face, Frankenstein, Casanova Frankenstein, being the main super god. You know what I'm talking about? Mystery Men, Casanova Frankenstein.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Frankenstein from Death Race 3000.
No,
I was like, that was David Carradine.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, but
he was in Pirates of the Caribbean.
But anyway, so Jeffrey Rush.
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
He had this series of playing these pretty awesome roles. He got to play Thurgood Marshall in the film Marshall. And then 21 Bridges. I think I reviewed that last year. It wasn't the greatest, but his performances were always consistent and always very well executed. And I think he had a humongous career ahead of him if this tragedy hadn't happened. And
he was also James Brown in a movie.
That's right.
What was it? Is Get On Up or Get On Down or one of the two?
But he had also had two films that were set to come out. He was in pre-production, Yasuke, which I don't think is probably going to come to fruition.
What? Hold on. About Yasuke, as in the dude that was with Oda Nobunaga, that there's not a lot of history on, but somehow somebody wrote a 540-page book on that you can go buy, and I still need to read it because
I don't know. We'll see.
It's interesting to see how 2 lines in real history got turned into some 500-page book of speculation.
Yeah, here we go. Boom. Vince up in here in the Twitch with 16th century warrior Yasuke.
Not true story, coming from a Nihonese historian. But, it's fun to think about something like that for sure.
But he was set to be in that film, which was in pre-production. I don't think they're probably going to have to recast that one. But he did manage to finish production on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which will probably come out next year if theater things come start happening again. And speaking of theater things, I guess raise a glass if you have one to Chadwick Boseman. Producers got some over there. Boom, you got an empty cup. That's just.
Well, no one told me. But this was also not rehearsed.
I mean, do you want some vodka?
Yeah, just hand me the whole thing.
Vodka. Oh, okay, come on, dude. Fine, whatever. Don't drink straight vodka like me. It's citrus flavor. Anyway, yeah. You will be missed. It's really, really tragic when good talent gets taken away unexpectedly, and really awesome guys. That from all tales that I have heard, he was awesome to work with on set, and it's just
all of his interviews just seemed like he was way too chill.
I mean,
so he was probably just a really easy to deal with dude. Yeah,
super chill dude. But speaking of theaters, going back to somewhat more positive news, theaters are starting to reopen. Mm-hmm. Tenet is coming out this weekend, actually, or tomorrow, I believe.
In the U.S., because it's been released overseas.
Yep.
Because Tom Cruise attending a London showing.
I saw that. I
made
saw
big
on Twitter.
news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I think, what did it have I think it's performing a little bit over its expectations overseas. I think it's some 38 million, 58 million. I don't have any data machine in front of me. I'm having to use my brain, which is what I usually do. But we skew facts when you don't have things to check it with. But anyway, it's doing a little bit better than they thought. I mean, it's not going like gangbusters. I mean, New Mutants just came out last weekend, and it opened up, I think, at a $7 million opening, which is, of course, for pandemic.
I was about to say,
not
I mean,
terrible.
How do you gauge it by
You don't.
COVID standards? Because these are the first new movies that are showing up, other than
Everything's weird and different, you guys. Ooh. It doesn't make any sense, but they think that that's good, and I guess that's good. I've heard early reviews saying that the movie's just meh.
Well, Johnny came in with a hot take there
With a big hot F.
Screw New Mutants, which I mean, I once I learned who the characters in it were, I was kind of like, well, I mean, why not make it a not creepy, weird, psycho ward horror style thriller looking movie? I don't know. I mean, also, why magic? Why would you put magic in there when you have Wolfsbane and Cannonball and some of the more recognizable, longer running mutants?
I don't know. Money, comic books, producers that never read the comic books.
Who cares about Mystic? Not one person. Like when they're like, we should make Colossus' little sister into a mutant too, because I think that would be interesting. And they're like, oh yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what producers do. It's people that don't understand anything, that have lots of money, to go, well, you know what? I think I know what everybody thinks, so this is what we're going to do. And then people that are like, actually, we know. And they go, well, are you rich? They go, well, no, but we just know what the people like. And they go, well, shut up, poor person. And it just doesn't work.
Vince, we're all tired of hearing about Tenet, and it hasn't even been released over here yet. So,
yeah, Vince over on Twitch says, to be honest, so
tired of hearing about Tenet. Tired of seeing
yet.
the Black Widow trailers.
Well, I mean, these movies were supposed to come out months and months and months ago. I mean, we
so
already
was
had.
Jungle Cruise. Yeah, exactly.
That's our takeaway, is that you're tired of not getting Jungle Cruise.
That's not what I said
You're
at
just
all.
like, give me Jungle Cruise. I need The Rock on a Disney ride in the jungle cruising.
Yeah. Also, like, who else is in that? Like Emily Blunt or something?
Me, Jake, so sick and tired of getting the thing that I need most in my life pushed back. I need The Rock in the same brown-ass, rolled-up sleeve uniform that he's worn in the past 17 movies he's been in, with his glistening, man-meat muscles ripped and sweating profusely on some sort of troubled situation that I need to see him solve with muscles. That's what's happening over here.
Dude, if a problem can't be solved with muscles, then who needs it? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever seen a movie before?
I mean, I've seen plenty of movies before.
Also, Vince and I were talking this weekend about about a action movie trope card game that he has that sounds really fun. So.
That does sound really fun.
Oh yeah.
And why didn't we create it?
I don't know, but we're going to find a way to get a copy. We're going to talk to Vince a little later, and that it actually sounds like a lot of fun. So everything has to do with this. Also, you're the one that hung this center prominent. So
that's about
don't be coming
unity
at
and
me.
Respect.
No, it's about Dylan being a son of a bitch. Is what that's about.
And pushing too many pencils.
Yeah.
No, that's about friendship and perseverance. And
Johnny, I do not want a ride on Space Mountain. I am Space Mountain.
Oh, geez.
Oldest ride, longest line. Woo! That's some Ric Flair for you. Oh, you know what came out this weekend that we need to watch for next week, and that every one of our viewers should watch?
what's that?
You Can't Kill David Arquette.
Are we going back to David Arquette? Is that where this is going?
We just went full blown
We're
wrestling.
going
man. We
there.
can't
We're
get away
going
from
there.
it.
Going back to David Arquette. Oh. What else is in the news? What else was I wanted to talk about today? There was something I was going to talk about today, but since I've been up here in the studio literally all day working on other stuff, and I don't have my notes, so I didn't make any notes at all. Do you want to? What happened? What's new with you, Jake? What's going on, dude?
I mean, not much, man. I don't know. Without going into a movie review, I don't know what to tell you here, because that's really all that happened. I missed out. Hey, if you are here watching this, as soon as we finish, maybe you can look for a showtime near you. They've been showing Rocky movies in the movie theater, and I wanted yesterday so bad, after I watched Bill and Ted, to go watch Rocky 3 in the movie theater, but the timeline for that just did not work. So unfortunately, I missed out on Clubber Lang and Thunder Lips in the theater. But starting today and carrying forth throughout the rest of the week, they are showing Rocky 4. So if you want to see Rocky defeat communism single-handedly and unite the world, because if he can change and they can change, everyone can change. You can watch that in the theater.
Ivan Drago.
Yeah, so you can watch the demise of our boy right here, Dylan, the son of a bitch, played by Carl Weathers.
I will say that Rocky IV, with the one with Ivan Drago, has one of the best training montages in the entire Rocky series. Because
Whoa. What?
I'm sorry you don't get to see him on the beach.
Rocky 3, man. They travel to Los Angeles. He learns how to fight like Clubber. He goes to the L.A. gym. He's not welcome because he's the little weird Italian white boy, and he's coming to L.A. now. No, you're going to have to learn to fight like them. And then you run on the beach, and they have like their big bro time. Nothing's better than the montage in Rocky 3.
Except the one in Rocky IV that I was about to talk about, where
he climbs a fucking mountain.
No, he's in the snow, and he's like chopping things with his hands, and he's just like carrying a big freaking log, and he's like in the barn, just like lifting cars and like punching dead things, and just like Wah! And like Trans-Siberian muscle machine. Yeah, dude, that's the one. That's the real one, because that's like, that could really happen. And then it's like Ivan Drago getting trained like a cyborg in the, getting wires hooked to his head.
They have the elliptical or whatever it is, and it just like it inclines up until it just can't do it anymore. And Brigitte Nielsen's just like
there.
You can't even stack up to Flavor Flav. I can't believe you.
Flavor Flav.
Yeah, because fun fact, Brigitte Nielsen was married to like Stallone or dated Stallone or something, and then she
married
was on that Flavor Flav.
She married Ivan Drago, didn't she?
Dolph Lundgren?
I thought they had a thing going on.
No, it was Stallone in real life.
Oh.
Yeah. Also in Rocky 4.
Stallone got a thing going on. Sounds like a rap lyric.
Dolph Lundgren punched Carl Weathers in their fight scene, and Stallone has interviews where he talks about it. And he's like, and the camera wasn't rolling. I was so disappointed. And he's like, it looked like they were going to kill each other, but then Carl Weathers said, "Where's my agent?" and got out of the ring. Whereas when Stallone and Lundgren fought, Lundgren broke like several of Stallone's ribs, and he had to be in the hospital for like 3 or 4 weeks before they could continue filming.
Hell yeah!
Because Stallone was like, just
roll.
He's like,
it.
The best way to make this look real is to do it.
Just punch me.
Yeah, so Rocky
I would
Films
not want to
behind
get
the
punched
scenes
by Dolph Lundgren.
No, because also fun true story about Dolph Lundgren is that his house in France was like invaded by these guys trying to escape the police, and they were holding his family like hostage. And then they
taken them.
Yeah, well, he didn't even have to. They saw photos of the family with Lundgren, and they gave themselves up.
Dude, when do we hit that status? It's like home invasion, someone's sleeping, breaks into my house, and it's like, oh, dude, we're in the wrong house. Let's get out of here, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, that's some BDE.
Well, you would have to be as tall as me. We would both have to get as ripped as the producer.
Oh, man.
And then we would need to go to MIT and become He-Man.
Damn it. That's never going to happen.
Yeah. So once you're Ivan Drago and He-Man.
I mean, best case scenario, I'm going to use my big giant sponge brain to build a like Rube Goldberg house a la like Home Alone, and then they'll regret it. Like that's my play.
And I will use my stubborn determinedness for things that are dumb to build me a real life Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Or they'll just break into either of our houses and go, there's nothing worth taking in here.
There's nothing here.
Just roll. Oh, they'll be like, oh, we got the wrong house. Let's get out of here.
Why are there so many pizza rolls in the trash? Like there's just
why are you throwing away pizza rolls?
The bag.
Okay.
Also not in the trash. Recycle your plastic bags, people.
But don't be throwing away precious pizza rolls.
I did fall asleep with pizza rolls in the microwave not that long ago.
Hey man, we've all been there.
Rip pizza rolls.
Yo, dude, a microwave, is that not a hermetically sealed environment? Can you just like have those later?
I mean,
you're the one.
We're not about to get into shameful actions here.
Hey, man, when duty calls, I don't know. So yeah, that's what's been going on in the world. What's going on in the comments? Johnny says, well, I wouldn't want to see you in a CC's Pizza parking lot if that... can we talk about CC's Pizza for just a minute? Yeah, what's wrong with CC's Pizza?
I mean, are people getting beat up in CC's parking lot?
I don't know. How are they handling the pandemic? Has anyone checked on CC's Pizza lately?
Buffets. They've had their to-go thing for a while.
But who gets
really
CC's
wants,
Pizza to go? Like,
have you ever had their apple pie pizza?
I'd like to have one singular flavor of your finest CC's macaroni and cheese pie. Like, why would you? No, you go to CC's because I'm gonna take one bite of the taco pizza and I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna take one bite of the barbecue pizza that has lettuce on it or whatever, and then I'm gonna get the one bite and you just end up getting pepperoni and cheese or the white one, like whatever the white one is. Like that one's pretty
Alfredo pizza.
Yeah, dude. Like those are okay, and then there's always
apple pie pizza, bro.
There's the family that has like the 4 camo wearing kids with the like Kool-Aid mustache, like permanent, and they've got like the plate in the center that's like all the crusts and pizza. It's like this mountain of.
Oh yeah, who are these people that just have the pile of crust? Who are you that don't eat pizza crust? What's wrong with you?
You'd think that. What I assume is an impoverished lifestyle would teach you to not like waste.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe at home they scrounge for the crust, but at CC's
they feel like God.
No crust for us today.
Yeah,
so
they're
much
like,
of it there.
we're gonna go to CC's and we're gonna act like royalty and go get these crusts away from me, and like they go, this is what rich people do.
Ew,
I mean, that's kind of how
this part. I no longer have need of that.
I remember when one of the first times I ever went to Las Vegas, I was like, I want to go to the biggest, dankest buffet in Vegas, and I think at the time it was at the Rio. And I was like, all right, crew, we're going to the Rio, and they're like, why? And I go, the buffet, it's like the biggest, baddest one in the country. We're gonna do it.
Were you Cousin Eddie?
Pretty much. And so I rolled up with my dickie on, and it was also a bib, and I was like, I'm only going to eat the centers out of everything because that's what high rollers do. And I was like, give me that steak. I'm only eat the middle. Give me this piece of cake. I'm only eat the middle. Just the sweet middle. And then everything else goes into the trash with the peasants.
That's so wasteful.
Well, I mean, I was in the fucking pinnacle apex of wastefulness.
Yeah, that kind of waste. That's what they talk about. What happens in Vegas stays there because no one needs to know what a terrible person you were.
That I just ate the centers out of. It's like,
you
here's
just,
a
like,
cheeseburger. I'm gonna rip it in half and only eat the center. Put it back together. Boom. Get rid of it. And yeah, I'll never go back to Vegas. What a waste. Yeah, look, here we go. We're checking up on CC's. If you're tuned into the live video stream,
I mean their new logo. I miss the old one.
Yeah, what is it? Just like a star and asterisk? It's like a pizza asterisk, or it's an exploded diagram of a pizza. Like, I guess the old logo with the tomato looked a whole lot like Fazoli's. Can we get the Fazoli's logo up there and make sure that I'm not insane? Yeah, let's see. What's the Fazoli's logo look like? Because it maybe that's why they changed it. Because it looks, I mean, see, it's just a big fucking tomato too. Actually, so that's the new one. The old one is right there, the circle with the tomato in the center, which is very CC's-esque.
Maybe people have started to get worried that there would be an attack from the killer tomatoes.
Mm.
And
I don't know. Hey, you want to go to CC's this week and see if they're still okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know. That picture doesn't make me want to go
so much powder on the brownies.
On second thought,
speaking of things that people only ever eat the center of, those cinnamon rolls.
Dude, those cinnamon rolls are dank.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about CC's?
I don't know. We need to get out of this and back to movies. So Vince is asking why we don't have thoughts about the robot being edited out of the Rocky IV Blu-ray. Is that something they're really doing? Is taking the robot out because nobody thought the robot was cool in Rocky IV?
I mean, why would you do that? I mean, I thought the robot was cool. I mean, it was a sign, like it was. To me, the robot in Rocky was what represented an interesting narrative point. And if you want to get nerdy about this,
doesn't the robot show up in Rocky 3 as part of like the showing that Rocky is just spiraling out of being a real boxer and more into his wealth and celebrity?
Yes.
And that's how Clubber Lang comes in and offers to steal Rocky's woman, and then he beats the hell out of everyone because Clubber Lang's working for it, and he comes from the bottom and he climbs to the top and he's champion of the world, and Rocky, and he's coming for you. I'm coming for you, Balboa. I want you, Balboa.
So the robot, the robot, I think, served.
Told you Rocky 3 is the best one. Everyone knows that. Clubber Lang, Thunder Lips, best montage.
Not the best montage.
Bruh. Rocky 4's montage is cheating because it's 2 songs. It's 2 songs worth of montage.
Yeah, double the montage, double the betterness.
It's a sandwiched montage.
Yeah, dude.
Because
and who
he's
doesn't
training
like
by himself.
sandwiches?
And then
they double meated it for
and then
$2 more.
Adrian shows up for a split break in the montage. And he's like, Adrian, I can't believe you showed up to friggin' Russia. And then it starts like the hearts on fire, true desire.
Yeah, dude. Anyway, so the robot, hear me out. I'm going to academicize the robot here. That's not a word. I just made it up. But
That's a George Bush word.
Like we were saying, it acted as the one and only solid visual narrative force to show that Rocky has lost his way and being corrupted and being made even more stupid by wealth and opulence. Because who buys a robot? No one. It's the dumbest thing you could ever do with your money. And then he did it. And it was like, look at this idiot doing all these dumb idiot things. Because
hey, there's way dumber things you can do with your money, like give it to Paulie. Because
he did that too.
He did do that, and Paulie wasted a lot of it. But that's because Rocky just wanted to show love to his family.
Yeah, dude. And don't do that.
He bought the robot for his kid.
He was trying. He was just trying.
His kid that's just absolute trash in
just
Rocky Balboa.
All he knows in his world, punching people out,
And Rocky 5.
That's all he knows.
The Rocky we don't talk about, Rocky 5, where Rocky's kid gets trained by or he doesn't get trained, he just hates Rocky, so he goes and trains to fight with someone else or starts fighting, beating up kids because what's the dude's name in Rocky 5?
Tommy Gunn?
Tommy Gunn.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Who, fun fact.
Got AIDS.
Well, that was not the fun fact, but the fun fact was that
I guess AIDS isn't fun.
He trained and got a lot of his start around us near Fort Smith and just inside of Oklahoma.
Oh.
Yeah. I used to work with a guy who trained with old Tommy Gunn. So how about that? Also, that was his real name, not just in the movie.
No, that was a real thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Rocky. That in a verbal history, an oral history here from the Drive-In Speakerbox. Let's talk about movies. Let's talk about let's talk about Bill and Ted. That's what you came here for, isn't it? That's what you came here for. You want to talk about Bill and Ted facing the music? Let's review this thing. Let's get into it. Let's open up that phone booth and let's go take a walk down memory lane and review this film. Okay.
Let's talk about Bill and Ted because we don't do that every episode already.
Well, now we have a reason to.
Now there's a new one.
Now there's a new one to do it. So, let's just jump into this thing. Bill and Ted Face the Music, a.k.a. Bill and Ted 3, a project that has been in long development and long rumor, and it almost felt like a Kickstarter project from all these fans. And it had all these ups and downs. I mean, I remember, how many years ago were we talking about rumors of Bill and Ted 3 on this show?
I think when
at least
we read
4
about
years ago?
Yeah, they said it's been in the works for like 6 or 8 years, trying to get it off the ground, and then actually getting serious about it here over the last 3 or 4. Yeah,
and of course, what a terrible time to finally come to completion.
Sure,
but almost a very appropriate time to come to completion because the movie is very much about bringing people together and uniting the world. I mean, because that's what Bill and Ted has always been about. It's been about these two knuckleheads that somehow managed to unite humanity through all space and time. And you never really see how.
Space and time is new. But.
Well, I mean, actually, no. When you talk about when Rufus came down in the first one, the Circle K, and told him that the music of Wild Stallions aligned the planets and allowed for intergalactic travel and contact with extraterrestrial beings, and allowed through space in terms of the planets.
Things like Station.
and it was through this music of Wild Stallions, and it's been the mythos of Bill and Ted. It's like they have this manifest destiny that we never have really gotten to see. We just know that it happens, and that's what makes the movie good, is because you don't need to see how that happens to believe in these two guys. And this movie is about seeing that thing that they've always talked about finally happen, which kind of bummed me out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely took away from the entire premise of the first movie. It deconstructed it too much to the point where it's like you had to see everything and how it actually happened, and it took whatever the plausible deniability or the suspended disbelief, like all anything like that, removed from that equation type of thing, like where you could go into it and be like, well, I don't know, maybe, and no, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, and again, this is the problem with all these fan service sort of, let's revisit this for one last hurrah movie. I know we've got the Dundee movie that's coming out probably later this year. It's supposed to be coming out this year, called the Excellent Mr. Dundee, which is again a kind of it's Paul Hogan jumping shark a la kind of Pauly Shore and a Pauly Shore is Dead sort of scenario where he's trying to come to terms with the fact that everybody thinks that he is Crocodile Dundee and dealing with like how that is and is like, anyway, whatever. Bill and Ted is this sort of one last hurrah of this, but it's also kind of a love letter to this project and how many lives that it has touched and how important it is to a lot of people and how this cast and crew and how it has affected all these people, and you could see it in the production. Now, I will say overall, I really enjoyed this film. I think the Grip, when he saw it to the theater, I hadn't seen it yet. I said, "What'd you think?" And he's like, "Well, it was no excellent adventure, but it's up there, maybe in par with Bogus Journey, which you don't really like."
More in line with Bogus Journey for sure. Excellent Adventure towers above these other two.
Because Excellent Adventure was a happy accident. They never anticipated it being as influential and awesome as it was.
Well, and it's its own adventure movie, and it has it, and it's like, you guys, this is, if you fail this class, then you can never become who you're supposed to be. This is the one obstacle that's preventing you from uniting everything in the future, and once we get you through it, everything's good. But then Bogus Journey comes in and it's like, oh no, they're dead in a car wreck because they're idiots. And it takes it away, and then at the end they just play "God Gave Rock and Roll to You," which is sick.
Especially the
because
Kiss cover. Yeah,
but that's not the song that unites it, and it takes it away, and they bring in.
It should have been
Martians, and
any Kiss song should unite the world, even though it's not an original Kiss song.
God Gave Rock and Roll to You, even though not an original Kiss song, but it is a better version when done by Kiss. It makes me feels, because it does, because. You know what? God did give rock and roll to you. But this one takes that even further, and it has to show you what the song is and how it was done and how Bill and Ted never achieved any sort of greatness after one or two albums following Bogus Journey. And it's kind of a real bummer that you see that they are just washed up trash dudes that again end up into an accident where they of course fix things. No spoiler, because of course it's going to happen.
Well, and as Vince said here in the Twitch comments, I don't want to I don't know if I want to read this comment out loud for those of you who listen to the podcast, but I agree 100%. The foreshadowing in this film was so blatantly obvious from the very first scene of the movie, mainly because of the state of how PC everything has gotten, that you kind of know every plot beat of what's going to happen. But I will disagree in a sense that I think that by the end of it, because what I was worried about is it was going to cheapen the entire first two movies of Bill and Ted being important and going, Bill and Ted aren't important because girls.
No, but hold on.
But they didn't do that. They didn't do it.
So I'm with you. They didn't do it, but they tried to make you think they were going to.
They tried to make you think it.
So hold on. Spoilers coming in 3, 2, 1.
Earmuffs.
So they try to say they come in and they're like, no, it's not Bill and Ted that do it. It's Preston Logan, the daughters of Bill and Ted that write the song. But they didn't actually write anything. They acted as producers, and Bill and Ted did come in, and they're the ones that shred on the guitar and make the music
At
that makes it work.
7:17, yeah.
Now, the entire premise of the movie of them traveling through time and getting the best musicians of Jimi Hendrix, Satchmo, some Chinese flautist, a cave woman, how did
There's a
anyone
cave dude with the drum? Yeah, how would they know
How did
that?
anyone even know that pre-history? And they're like, this is the best one. There's no way to know that kind of thing.
They
And
were
then
just like,
Mozart,
let's get the fun of Genghis Khan back.
yeah, so like the one person that joined the crew being like Mozart, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see Mozart being in there. The way they did Jimi Hendrix, I did not like. The way they did Satchmo, I was not a fan of at all.
Yeah, me either.
And then their purpose in the movie was pointless. There was no reason for them
And
to
instead
be
of
there.
Beethoven, they got Mozart.
Yeah, but Mozart is pretty
Mozart
baller.
does rule, but it's essentially the same character.
No, because Beethoven in Bill and Ted, he's just going after it in the mall and just killing it. Yeah. But so they tried to take that excellent adventure story and do it over again, and it was like they took Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey, and fused them
smashed 'em up.
together, and then brought the daughters in and tried to make it like a Bill and Ted are washed out. Their wives don't like them. Their lives are falling apart on
Which
top
I thought
of
that
it.
was kind of cool. I
No,
like
you don't,
I like the side story of them, but they keep knuckleheading their way through trying to figure it out. They're like, let's not make this worse.
Okay,
dude.
so it made for comedy, and the comedy in the movie was good. Whenever they were making jokes or making fun in the movie, it worked. But as soon as they would step away from Bill and Ted being Bill and Ted, and it was marriage troubles or their children doing something pointless to the entire plot or purpose of the movie, it wasn't fun. But when it was Bill and Ted, every time they encountered their future selves,
dude, it was great.
That was perfect. And if they
I
would
have
have
to-
made that the movie instead,
I have to tip my hat to Alex Winter, a guy who has been away from the Hollywood spotlight for as many years as he has, coming back.
I liked him better.
I liked him better.
Yeah, I liked
You know?
Bill way better than Ted in this movie.
He felt more natural. He felt more relaxed. Like Keanu Reeves felt a little stiff and not necessarily into the role. But their chemistry was still there. It was still fun to watch.
I think people forget how old,
they both are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both very old. And I will say for the daughters, Bridget Lundy Payne, who played Billy, I thought she did a great job. But I didn't like Samara Weaving.
They were too much. The daughters were too much.
Too much.
Because they were trying too hard
to be Bill and
to
Ted.
parody or copy and accidentally parody what they thought Bill and Ted were instead of being like natural characters. Because part of the magic that makes like Bill and Ted work, or movies like with Pauly Shore, like Encino Man or something like that work, is that it comes off as genuine. Like you're like, oh yeah,
or Fast Times.
Yeah,
you know,
Spicoli. Yeah, something like that. Is that
it doesn't
comes
seem
off
forced.
It doesn't. But their daughters seemed very much try hard.
Mm-hmm.
Which
how do we pretend to be this parody of Valley, California, dude?
Yeah, and especially for people in 2020 kind of a thing. And I think the only part that came off worse than that was, Kristen Shaw trying to be wedged in there as they do with her in movies.
As Rufus's daughter.
She's fine.
Amazingly talented.
Yeah, and she's great in things
And
like Flight of the Conchords and stuff. But her and Jillian Bell, they both just find a way to shove them into things
to not have their own. It wasn't a big enough spotlight for them. Let me get this comment really quick. Vince asks about the people that in the first movie. He asked if the princesses were the same. They are not. The only same people were the dad, Missy.
Ted's dad.
Yeah, Ted's dad, Missy, because that was hilarious, and Bill and Ted and Death. I think everybody else was.
You can't have Rufus. You can't
George
have
Carlin has died.
Clarence Clemens.
Because
he passed
he's
away,
dead
which
too.
they didn't bring him back for Bogus Journey anyhow. It was.
But William Sadler returning as Death was awesome. The scene where they had to make up with him after the band broke up was gold. You may be a king or even a street sweeper, but sooner or later, you'll dance with the Reaper. They didn't say that in this movie, but it was. Dude, William Sadler is the only death in my book. Watching him play tetherball with himself was worth the whole $24.99. In my opinion, he will always be death for me, which is crazy because he's a parody of Ingmar Bergman's what is it, The Seventh Seal. That's what he's playing there.
I don't know that I would be comfortable spending the $19.99 or $24.99 to watch this film. I'm very happy that I spent the $7 at the movie theater instead. There's some good music in the movie.
Yes,
there is some good music.
There is some good music in the movie.
Done by the studio musicians. That's like just the unrecorded or non-album, no big name group metal riffs in the background that was good. But whenever they'd play like real music, it was like, how does this fit in? Like the Weezer song at the end of the movie and things like that just don't seem to fit.
I did
with
enjoy
it in any way.
I did enjoy the them having to sort of sit, and they've actually become accomplished musicians, and they can play like every instrument imaginable because they've spent the past 20 years like trying to figure out how to write this song but can't. And so these two guys that couldn't play guitar at all at the beginning of the first movie are now like versed in playing every instrument in humanity.
Well, and there's
it's kind of cool.
There's fun things that you can see if you watched all of the Bill and Ted movies and stuff, like all the posters in the background for their albums or things like that, and in Death's House, or when they're in the future and they bring them all of the guitars, you can see the guitars that they played in Bogus Journey and stuff like that. So there's
definitely a labor of love. There was a passion project for sure.
Yeah,
for everybody.
There's little bits like that, but so I don't know. There's a lot of hit and there's a lot of miss, and I don't know how I feel about it. But Excellent Adventure, of course, is always going to be the best one. You did have your appearance by the writers of Bill and Ted. They make their appearance as Stupid and Ugly, so you can look for them as they have appeared in all of the movies. They were the Ziggy Piggy guys in the first one. They were the seance people in the second one. And then they show up in this one too. So I mean, there's fun things like that there, and like I said, all the funny bits really hit pretty well. Every time Bill and Ted are on the screen,
it's
especially
good.
When they are traveling to the future to find themselves, is always really good. But there's
because they turn into some heinous dickweeds.
Yeah, dude, your future self sucks.
He's such a dick.
So there's parts like that are really good, but there's other parts, like when it gets away from Bill and Ted, that really make you wish that there was more of Bill and Ted in the Bill and Ted movie.
The android is really funny as well. That was an unexpectedly hilarious little story arc there, with a character that I didn't think was going anywhere, but turned into some serious laughs.
So Johnny says, as far as follow-up to a classic, leaps and bounds above Terminator Dark Fate. Not hard to do. In fairness, not hard to do, because Dark Fate tried way too hard to be Girl Power T2, and it just didn't work for anybody, because instead of making Sarah Connor be the Sarah Connor that everyone knows and likes already. They gave her own TV show, The Sarah Connor Chronicles, and it was good.
Speaking of which, did you hear about her twin sister dying?
Oh no!
This past week, yeah, she had a twin sister, and we lost her too.
Yeah, she actually was in Terminator 2. She played her in the scenes where she had the kid and the nuclear fence, and when they had the mirror, there was the fake Arnold head with Arnold and Linda on one side, and the twin working on the Terminator in the other. So movie magic there with
twins.
Twins, yeah, just like The Prestige.
With twins, which, man, that's a good movie.
That's a good movie.
That's a good movie. Not as good. I mean, what was the other one? The Magician that came out the same year. It was one of those weird, like, parallel universe years where the same movie came out twice.
Yeah.
But The Prestige was the better of the two.
Oh, yeah. Oops. Spoiler for a 15-year-old movie, Vince. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, anyway, Bill and Ted Face the Music is going to be in theaters. I think it's getting more expanded release this weekend, from what I've read.
Well, that's cool. You know,
Yeah.
and as
And hear me out. Hear me out. Here's my plea to you: if you do want to see Bill and Ted Face the Music, don't buy it yet. Go to the theater and see it, because I plan on going to the theater and seeing it again. Granted, it's probably a movie I wouldn't see in the theater twice. I do want to see it in the theater, but here's the thing, is I want to show my support for the theater, because I think that there is this big push right now with big studios trying to change laws and trying to do all this stuff to go, well, why do we even need theaters? We could just make more money at home. And like, it's going to ruin theaters. And if we continue to perpetuate the idea for these studios to go, well, we'll pay $70 billion to watch it at home. Mulan here, take my money. Like, no, go to the theaters. Go do it. Be safe. Make it. Honestly, the theaters that I've been to recently I have felt more safe inside these theaters than any restaurant, any whatever.
I went to a smaller independent chain that there's only 4 or 5 of in total. They had every other row blocked off, and everything there was adhering to guidelines as best as they possibly could. I didn't feel like I needed to be worried in any way.
Because here's another thing that maybe you hadn't thought about. If you just pay the $35 to go see Mulan and don't pay the $10 to go see it in a theater, well, guess what?
You can't see it in the theater.
Not yet, but maybe you will. Who knows? I don't know. But if you just pay the premiums to see it online, guess who doesn't get that money? All the people that have those jobs at the theater, all the low income people that are working, and all that you're just lining the pockets of big fat asshole producers and executives.
Well, and the Mulan is a pay-per-view, so you're going to have to pay that every time your kid wants to watch it.
When you go to the theater, you're creating jobs, you're supporting local economy, you're supporting local taxes in your community, you're putting pimply-faced teenagers to work, you're giving opportunities, you're creating the movie environment, you're seeing it the way that the director intended, you're keeping the corn kernel industry alive. You're doing so many things by going to the theater. It is a part of the film ecosystem. It is important. It is better, and god damn it, you're never going to have a stereo system at your home that beats a good fine-tuned audio system in a theater.
That's true. Some of the shred and metal stuff in Bill and Ted sounded pretty good at the theater. And I was happy that I saw it there.
And I live in an apartment, and I have a pretty good sound system, but I have a downstairs neighbor and a behind me neighbor and a to the side of me neighbor, and our walls are pretty thin. I can hear the ones behind me arguing at each other because I guess they hate each other. I don't know, but they suck as neighbors. Anyway,
shout out.
And every time there was like an intense scene where they're like traveling through time, it's like and doing all that noise. I'm like, oh god, I gotta turn it down, and it like really messed up the experience of immersing myself into this film. When if I was in the theater, it'd have been like shredding guitars and time traveling whooshes, and then Billy coming in and being like, I want to play the theremin, and then Ted being like, ugh, and then Jimi Hendrix being like with Mozart. Like, I could have experienced that without having to go riding the volume. Go watch it in the theater, goddammit.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Vince just pointed out, too, Mulan is definitely a test to see how much people will pay for the Disney hype machine. And they're probably going to pay a lot, is the answer to that.
And Johnny Dalton says The Lion King killed any desire to see a live-action Disney remake.
Live action.
For us, but not the rest of America, who still seems to think that is the best damn thing to do.
Mulan's coming in trying to trick me real hard by being like, but Donnie Yen is in it. I'm like, damn it. Yeah. Donnie Yen's so cool. And actually, you know what? I've seen a couple more of the trailers, and I do think Ming-Ho Wen is in the movie. I think she's one of the Mongols. She's like the sorceress person they have in there. I haven't checked the IMDb page, and I'm sure that could answer our question real quick. But I think that she is in as that. But the point is, Donnie Yen, man. You put Donnie Yen in a movie, I'll watch that movie.
Dude, because it's Donnie Yen, bro. Mm-hmm.
And Facebook keeps being like, look at this thing about Mulan. And the director's like, I didn't realize that Donnie Yen was a martial artist when I cast him as a martial artist. And he came in as a martial artist. But then when I saw him act as a martial artist, I was like, wow, that's a martial artist. And I'm like,
Is this also produced by Owen Wilson? I was like, wow.
yeah. Every time I see this video on
Like, wow.
Facebook being like, watch Mulan, idiot. I'm just like, who are you that you didn't realize that Donnie Yen was super badass?
That's how disconnected these people are. Hire us. We'll produce your next film.
Hey.
Maybe that's our destiny. Maybe
To be
Rufus
producers?
is going to come to us in a phone booth and be like, it is you guys' destiny to produce the film that unites time and space.
Yeah.
Maybe we are Bill and Ted.
Okay.
Dude, strange
Yes.
things are afoot at the drive-in Speakerbox set.
Yeah, I was about to say it and you beat me to it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's our destiny.
Hey. Don't forget to wind your watch.
Dude, I don't even have a watch.
I left mine at home.
Oh, no.
Yeah, uh-oh.
If I just remember to put the key over there before we go, then it'll be there.
Yeah.
Dude,
Ted, or Bill, remember trash cans.
Trash cans. Okay.
boom. Like,
Yeah.
going
Hey.
one.
Say hello to the princesses for me. You'll see.
I will say that Bill and Ted right now in Hollywood and in TV, it is very, very trendy to be doing time travel stuff like that. The reason that time travel is so popular, everyone's like, oh, because of the future. No, time travel is popular because you can reset storylines and have no continuity, and you can just churn out content and go, ooh, different timeline, and it's a stupid cop-out. But Bill and Ted, I've always said this, you can go back before people thought Bill and Ted was cool in the past few years, back in the old episodes of Drive-In Speak. There was a time!
Who doesn't think
It
Bill
was-
and Ted is cool?
It was the before times.
The long ago?
The long ago.
Okay.
But I've always been saying on the show that Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure was one of the most brilliant time travel movies that handled time travel paradox in a way that was tongue-in-cheek but also smart. Like, the people that are writing this movie aren't, they're thinking of all the dumb things that could cause time travel paradox in film, which we're seeing a lot in movies, but they're not thinking it through. And then you come back to this, to the newest film, and you got the Kid Cudi character, and they start talking about these high-level, quantum theory.
What's the deal with casting hip hop artists and then having them just be like unreasonably intelligent? Is that just, why?
Twitter.
Why do they always feel like it has to be like a hip hop artist? Are they trying to imply that hip hop artists are always like some sort of?
Or are they trying to imply that they're normally stupid?
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
They're always trying to imply that they're dumb, so they're like, but if we cast him as like a really smart dude, because they did the same thing in Teen Titans Go to the Movie, and there's another movie or two that I can't think of right now, but I've seen it happen several times. But they made him the super intelligent character, where he's like, oh, here's how time and space works, because quantum physics, and this is just something I know off the top of my head. Isn't it lucky that I was transported away from my concert to tell all of this to you?
It is a movie
Station.
trope. Yeah, station. Anyway, yeah, so Johnny Dalton, he says on YouTube, he says it was the time travel movie in the 80s that wasn't a ripoff of Back to the Future.
Buckaroo Banzai, bro.
Yeah, which is available for streaming free on Amazon Prime right now if you want to check out. We talk about Buckaroo Banzai from time to time, and it's a watch. Make sure you have some substance of your choice, be it alcohol or reefer or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever
that
it
might
is
make
you
it
do.
more fun. I was about to say, don't waste your time with Buckaroo Banzai unless you're just us and you're like, what, Peter Weller in a movie where he's a cowboy samurai scientist that travels to space and has a crew of weirdos that were Pee-wee rejects. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. With the bubble wrap masks. Anyway, I think, do we have anything else to talk about? We could just sit here and nostalgia spiral.
Did you see that poster of the Flash that I sent?
Yeah, is that
to you
real
guys?
or is that photoshopped?
I don't know if it's real. It was posted by Bat in the Sun, another great
What is that?
It's a
YouTube
fan-
channel.
It's a fan created one,
Is it?
But
Oh man,
it's-
but it
it's-
looks so good.
but it's legit.
It
Wait,
looks-
what?
It's pretty legit. And legit
No, legit in terms of we're going to get this?
Well, okay, that's...
I mean, is it
So for those of you that don't know what
is
we're
it a
talking about.
Flashpoint movie with
on,
Tom?
hang on.
They've been hinting about the Flashpoint paradox, and if you watch the trailer, the new Snyder trailer,
Can we get the
everyone-
poster up on the screen so people know what we're talking about? Jake, fill them in. What you shared it to our little
All right,
group.
so there was a movie poster that Bat and the Sun watched, a great YouTube channel that you can check out as soon as you want to change from us for just a minute after you're done watching and subscribing and liking our videos. Preach. But yeah, there it is. So you have, the Flash and Batman and Thomas Wayne. Now, what I did not notice until right now was the Michael Keaton Batman, and I wish that was not in the image. So that does ruin it a little bit for me.
How would it ruin it? How did it ruin it?
Just because you have two different Batmans and Thomas Wayne. You only need the one Batman
Sure.
and Thomas Wayne. You don't need to have that third Batman in there. But the Thomas Wayne Batman looks so good in this picture.
It does.
And I need that.
He's going to be back. You know that?
Well, what's the name of the guy that played Thomas Wayne?
Kevin Porter?
No, he's the dude from Walking Dead that everyone. He was the comedian.
Yes.
In
Anyways, but yeah, he's going to be reprising a unnamed role, which can imply that in the future Flash movie, which they're likely going to cover Flashpoint Paradox, he's going to reprise his role, a gunslinging Thomas Wayne and a Joker, Martha Wayne, who turns into Joker.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see a gun-toting Batman Thomas Wayne on big screen, because even though Flashpoint in that incarnation is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, thank you, is a newer take on it. It quickly became fan favorite and everything like that. So they just need to give him a mustache. Thomas Wayne has a mustache, and there's no reason for him to not, which is upsetting when he doesn't. I will die on this hill.
Thomas Selleck Wayne.
Yes.
So this image is kind of distorted, but there's a still of, they redid this
Justice Legoo.
Well, there's on the border on this left part of the screen, there's supposed to be a photo of Thomas Wayne there. You can't see it because it's kind of distorted, but.
Ooh.
What are all those things taking fire dumps on the city?
Well, this is when Superman. This goes in that alternate future where Superman he goes crazy.
Where the
because-
parademons.
Yeah, he goes crazy and ends up killing Lois.
of course, the parademons.
And then he becomes evil.
Yeah, it was in the
I
Justice League.
It was a
remember
nightmare
that.
dream sequence, right, where Batman has that nightmare. Where,
Yeah, from Batman v Superman.
So they redid the scene in the trailer. If you rewatch it again, I highly recommend rewatching the Snyder Cut trailer. There's so many Easter eggs in there, but including there's a photo, you can't see it in this terrible image I pulled up, but it's interesting.
Oh man, having Flashpoint, I just realized it because of the trident and everything there. Having the armies of Aquaman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, King Atlan is in the trailer. He's in a split second.
So the Snyder Cut could be cool.
The Snyder Cut already showed us Darkseid, so it's going.
He's not Darkseid yet. He's Euxis.
I don't like that. This is dumb, and I hate it instantly.
Dude. He doesn't have the Omega. He doesn't have the Omega symbol on his chest.
So he can't
had it,
shoot
like, carved on
sideways.
his forehead,
He can't shoot
though.
sideways lasers.
No, he doesn't have the Omega beams yet. Because
Yeah, but does he have the what is it? The formula, the
anti-life.
the anti-life equation.
That's what he's searching for. So I think in the present day, like that scene was when he was fighting against the forces of the Man Atlanteans and so on and so forth, right? The Amazons and whatnot. And fast forward to now, I mean, he's Darkseid. He's got the Omega power-ups. He's leveled up considerably. And he's searching for the anti-life equation.
That's what I need. I need Omega Beam, hands behind his back, ultimate murder you Darkseid, and I need his voice to be Michael Ironside.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Michael Ironside is Darkseid, just like Clancy Brown is Lex Luthor. No matter who they make as Lex Luthor, Clancy Brown is Lex Luthor. Yes! Dude, look at that. As long as they don't make him like the 25-foot tall Darkseid, they poke his eyeballs out.
Oh, no. I think the new 52-ish animated films, I don't think they're going to do that. I think there's way...
But why does he have a hammer? Darkseid doesn't need a hammer.
No, because he's not.
Is that
Darkseid
Astaroth
yet.
from Soul
No,
Calibur?
because he's not Darkseid yet. He hasn't gained those power. He's still the plain
How-
old Euxis barely new god.
Yeah,
guy.
but
Is that Hephaestus?
I need him to have like Mongol and
It'd be
especially
interesting
since
if-
they're gonna have Mongal.
Look at his precious little tongue.
in Suicide Squad.
Look
Since
at his tongue. He's like, ah.
If Mongol had a cameo like in the Snyder Cut, like some sort of Easter egg, I'd be happy.
and who's the hairy one? What's the name of the hairy guy?
One of Darkseid's sons.
Yeah, the one that's not
I
really his
forgot.
son, but
Yeah,
he traded with the other guy from Mongol because they had their son
Yeah,
exchange.
yeah,
Pubert.
There it is. Yeah, Pubert. All bow before Pubert.
The hairy son.
Yeah, the herald of apocalypse.
Calabac.
There it is. Yeah.
Bolasac. The hairy one.
No, but if they're gonna have Mongal, they need to have Mongol.
Yeah, he looks
and
like a Bolasac
Calabac
to me.
and Big Barta and all of that. You know,
I don't think they're gonna shove that in all this. I think when
Why does he only have 2 toes?
because
Is he a Ninja Turtle?
he's an alien.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
Superman's an alien, but he's more.
I thought they had more than 2 toes. That just seems. You guys in your comic books, freaking nerds.
Anyways, check out the Snyder Cut Justice League. I mean, they did confirm they're gonna divide it into 4 specials, right? I believe it's gonna be 4+ hours of Snyder Cut goodness.
It's going to be a series. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what they said. And
HBO
good
Max.
on them. I think I think it makes it more bingeable. Like when people are like, "Oh, it's a 4-hour movie. Fuck that. I don't want to watch that." But when it's like, "It's a 9-hour TV series. I'm going to watch that all in one night, dude."
So,
People
Johnny,
everyone's stupid.
while we're getting in the DC thing, because DC fandom has not wore off, Johnny came in and said they're making a long Halloween animated feature. I have a very strong stance to make right here. Fuck Jeff Loeb. All right, that's it. The end.
Johnny also made a statement in the comments that I think you're going to have a little tangent with.
That Braun Strowman could play Lobo. Braun Strowman is no Lobo. Braun Strowman could be Calabac, sure, but Stone Cold Steve Austin needs to be Lobo.
I watched Superman Man of Tomorrow recently.
Dude, just imagine Stone Cold Steve Austin come riding up on Lobo's motorcycle, and he's like, "Hey, I heard one of you bastages was talking trash about the space rattlesnake." And then he takes out 2 beers and like slams them together, and then goes, "I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in your ass and walk it dry, bastich." And
Dude,
then he just
if
whoops
you want,
on
if you want
everyone.
Lobo, you gotta watch Superman of Tomorrow because Lobo's in here and they pull him off.
Yeah, there's
really
the
well.
main. There's the main
Yeah,
man
he
right
actually
there.
he actually plays like a pretty solid role for a good third of the movie, I think.
He's also in one of the Lego Justice League movies.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lobo's the depiction of Lobo here. This is when Superman is. It's kind of like almost like a Batman year 1 or year 2 for Superman, right?
Yeah, I need a Lobo live action. Quit making these dumbass Suicide Squad things. Quit trying to make it happen, and give me my Lobo live action. Damn it! Everyone has wanted that.
Can we just have a Lobo movie in the style of the 1990s Spawn movie?
Oh, that'd be. That could work. That could work.
Like, are you saying
That could
Are
work.
you saying Michael Jai White as Lobo?
I'm just taking the visual style
Yeah,
of
that gritty,
that
like,
movie
Yeah,
with a Lobo.
that'd be kind of dope.
But also Michael Jai White as Lobo?
Or can we get Alex Proyas back in the saddle and have him direct a Lobo film a la like Crow and Dark City? Like, get Alex Proyas on the phone. Where did he go? Well, we need that dark and gritty for the main man.
Yeah, with Stone Cold as the main
No,
man.
not with the Stone Cold.
Dude, could you not imagine Lobo just
I
smacking
can't
beer
imagine
cans
Stone Cold
and-
acting.
Yeah, that'd
Whoa,
be hard.
hey.
That'd be hard to get.
Are you just saying
Yeah,
that
I'd be hard to
he
get past.
all he does is act? Because wrestling's not real.
What are you doing? No, he's in tons of movies, is what I'm saying. He's in a bunch of movies.
Finish him.
Well,
fatality.
someone's going to get hit
Fatality,
with a
brother.
stunner as soon as we go off air.
All right. Okay, that's the producer's like going, shut up. It's time to go. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, whatever, YouTube, all the things. I'm the boom operator.
I'm the grip.
See you next week.